Have you ever thought about what connects you, a giant blue whale, and the tiniest little microbe? Well, the secret is hidden inside a structure so incredibly small you can't even see it. Today, we're diving deep into that structure, the cell. We're about to explore the amazing, tiny architecture that really makes all of us, us.
Yeah, you've definitely heard this phrase before, right? The building block of life. It sounds so simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful ideas in all of science. I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single living thing, doesn't matter how big or complex, is built from these little individual units. They aren't just part of the building, they are the building.
So, okay, what is a cell, really? Well, you can think of it as the smallest possible package that checks all the boxes for being alive. You know, it's got a structure, it can perform all the jobs it needs to stay running, and this is the absolute key. It can make copies of itself. It can replicate. Seriously, everything in biology, it all starts right here.
And what's really fascinating is that all cells, no matter what organism they're in, they all play by the same basic set of rules. This is something called cell theory. And it's basically the constitution for all of modern biology. It's that important. And the best part, it's beautifully simple. First up, if something's alive, it's made of cells. At least one. Simple enough, right? Second, the cell is the most fundamental unit of life. It's the smallest thing that can be considered alive all by itself. And then there's the third pillar, and this is the one that'll really blow your mind. All cells come from other cells. Just think about that. That means the cells in your body right now are part of an unbroken chain of life stretching back billions of years, all the way to the very first life on this planet. Wow.
Okay, so all cells follow the same rule book, but that doesn't mean they all look the same. Not at all. Over billions of years, life came up with two major architectural blueprints. You can kind of think of them as the basic model and the deluxe, fully loaded edition. So on one hand, you've got the prokaryotic cell. This is the simple, ancient design. We're talking bacteria. Their genetic material, their DNA, it isn't tucked away in a neat little package. It just kind of floats around in a region we call the nucleoid. But then, you have the eukaryotic cell. This one is way larger, way more complex, and the biggest difference, its DNA is all neatly packaged and protected inside a proper membrane-bound nucleus. This is the blueprint for pretty much everything you can see. Plants, animals, fungi, yep, including you and me.
All right, since we are all made of these super complex eukaryotic cells, let's zoom in even further. Come on, let's take a tour inside one of these bustling microscopic cities and meet all the specialized little workers that keep the whole thing running.
So what is it? What makes this eukaryotic cell so much more complex? What's going on inside that allows for something as complicated as a human being to exist when you compare it to a simple little bacterium?
Well, the answer really comes down to one word: organelles. They're literally tiny organs. So if you imagine the cell as a huge factory, then the organelles are all the specialized machines on the assembly line. Each one has a very specific, very crucial job to do, and it's how they all work together that allows for this incredible level of complexity.
First up, right at the heart of it all, you've got the main office, the control center, the nucleus. This thing is like a fortified vault. Its job is to protect the most precious thing the cell owns, its DNA, which is the genetic blueprint for absolutely everything. From here, it sends out all the orders for the entire factory. Okay, now for the one everybody remembers from high school biology, right? The powerhouse of the cell. Every factory needs a power plant, and for the cell, that is the mitochondria. These are the legendary powerhouses, and they work non-stop, converting food into a usable energy molecule called ATP. Seriously, without these guys, the whole operation would just grind to a halt, instantly. And over here we have the cell shipping and receiving department. This is the Golgi apparatus. It basically acts like a super efficient post office. It takes in newly made proteins, tweaks them a little, sorts them, and then packages them into these little bubbles to be shipped off to exactly where they need to go in the cell or even outside of it.
But wait, there's more. The list just keeps going. You've got ribosomes. They're the tiny construction workers actually building the proteins. Then there's the endoplasmic reticulum, this huge workspace where those proteins get folded into the right shapes. You've got lysosomes. They're like the cleanup crew, breaking down waste. And holding it all together is the cytoskeleton, the internal scaffolding that gives the cell its shape. It's an entire self-contained city, and every single part has a critical job to do.
So that deluxe model eukaryotic cell we've been talking about? Well, it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. Nature is way smarter than that. It's customized the blueprint for different lifestyles, and you can really see this when you compare plant and animal cells. Check this out.
There are three major features you'll find in plant cells that you just won't see in animal cells. First, to stand up tall against gravity, they have a rigid outer cell wall. Second, to make their own food using sunlight, photosynthesis, they have these amazing organelles called chloroplasts. And third, to stay firm and full of water, they have one huge central vacuole that acts like a giant water tank. Animal cells? Well, we get our structure and our food in different ways, so we just don't need them.
Okay, so we've toured the factory, we've seen the different models, it's all pretty cool stuff. But why does any of this tiny microscopic machinery actually matter? What's the big picture here? What's the takeaway?
It's because this whole collection of tiny machines all working together in perfect harmony, this is life. This is where it all happens. Metabolism, converting food into energy, it happens here. Growth and repair, orchestrated right here. Copying the genetic blueprint for the next generation? Yep, that's happening here too. Maintaining the delicate balance that keeps an entire organism alive, it all comes back to the cell. Every single thing a living creature does, whether it's thinking a thought, running a race, or just growing bigger, it all starts right here.
And that leaves us with one final, absolutely massive question. If every single living thing on this planet, from bacteria to blue whales, is built from the same basic toolkit, playing by the same fundamental rules, then how? How did that one toolkit manage to create the absolutely breathtaking, incredible diversity of life we see all around us? Well, that is the magic of evolution. And maybe, just maybe, a topic for another time. Thanks for diving in with us today.